Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. I'm always experimenting with skincare, we know that. I think you are too. I think you experiment a lot and probably like to buy a lot of different skincare and try, new and different things. And I feel like we leave a lot of good, tried and true tested skincare products behind us and kind of forget about them. So thanks to some comments from other YouTube videos, I've kind of made a list of really amazing products that I used to love and swear by. And I've been using again, literally just for a couple of weeks now, but I remember how much I love them, and hopefully I can refresh your memory on some of these. So I'm going to start with 4 products which are from the sponsor of today's video, Style Korean. Style Korean are one of my go-to places to shop for K-beauty. They have some of our old favorites, some iconic products like we're going to talk about today, new launches, new releases, and probably brands you've never heard of before. They also have K-pop on there and some lifestyle bits as well. In my opinion, they also stock a lot of products that you probably won't find on other Korean beauty seller websites. All the products I talk about today will be linked in the description box down below. Some of the products I'm talking about out of the sponsor segment will also be available on there as well, so I'll just link them all to Style Korean because it's easier. Okay, so first one ever, probably like my first real favorite K-beauty brand is COSRX, and this is their Aloe Soothing Sun Cream, SPF 50+, PA4+. This is one of the very first K-beauty sunscreens I use that I was like, wow, this is different. This isn't like my Pitts Buin, like Nivea face and body sunscreen like all those years ago. And it's the first sunscreen that I was like, this is just a moisturizer. It feels like just a moisturizer and I'll be really happy to use this every single day. Now, my skin has changed a little bit since 4 or 5 years ago when I first reviewed this. And whilst this isn't heavy, it's actually a lot lighter than I remember it being. I still use this in the drier areas where I'm not so oily because it does have a more kind of standard moisturizing feel. It's not too light and not too heavy. It actually dried down very nicely and kind of left an almost matte, silky smooth feeling, and not in the horrible primer way, but in a nice kind of soft skin way. Of course, the key ingredient here is aloe, nice and soothing, also very, very hydrating. So again, you do get that more moisturizer than sunscreen feeling with this. And the smell of it just reminds me, it takes me back to like when I first left London. It's so nice. It's so nice. It's very lightly fragranced, but more in that kind of like soft aloe kind of scent. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a nice winter sunscreen. I think if you know K-beauty, or if you got into K-beauty like 4 or 5 years ago, then you know the brand Skinfood. And I feel like they're having a bit of a resurgence. And I feel like they're known for 2 products. One of their like sugar masks and this rice mask wash off. I used to use this all the time. Skinfood is known in general for their food-related products that have a mix of non-vegan and vegan products. So if you are after vegan K-beauty, they do some, but they also merge nature with science. Again, a lot of their products being based on like food items. I believe like carrot, eggs, sugar, honey, rice. And this is a rice bran mask that has kind of like really tiny bits of rice in. It kind of looks like rice pudding if the rice granules were cut into like loads of little bits. And it's a super soft physical exfoliant that doesn't like rip into the skin. So nicely, gently but effectively removes dead skin. This is kind of like, it's kind of got like a creamy mask kind of feel to it. So if your skin is very, very dry, not dehydrated, just for those with dry skin, if you can like really see your skin peeling or getting dry in certain patches of your face, you can put this on, leave it on like a mask for a good like 15 minutes. It's not going to dry you out. Then rinse away and exfoliate at the same time. So yeah, rice brown water in here to really help with like that struggling dry skin. Any irritation, it smooths and softens. I'm really excited to try this again. Okay, I'm going to lump the next 2 in together because I have actually reviewed these recently, but recently for me is like 6 months to a year, because each 1 month or so I do tend to move on to the next product because it's my job. But there are those products that you review and you're like, oh, I don't really want to move on from these because my skin loves them so much, and these are 2 of them. So the first one is Skin 1004's Centella Madagascar Centella Ampoule. I've been told so many times how to pronounce this properly. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. With a very minimal ingredient list, this is quite literally just centella and glycerin. Oh, and water and butylene glycol. So it's got like 4 or 5 ingredients in, but it really is making the most of the centella as like a soothing and healing ingredient. And glycerin in here is nicely hydrating. In my opinion, making it really, really good for all skin types, especially those with very sensitized skin, rosacea, those that are like prone to skin irritation. This is a really nice one to use day in, day out, twice a day. And it's always very reasonably priced. This is how 55 milliliters. Your average serum is about 30 milliliters for like the same price. So I always feel like with this brand in particular, you get a real bargain. But yeah, if you're looking for something for very easily sensitized skin, irritated skin, just want to help heal and refresh and kind of like tone down any kind of redness, this is a really nice, simple one to go for. The next one is their Hyla Cica Water Fit Sun Serum, SPF 50 plus PA4 pluses with pure centella. So this is an incredibly, incredibly light sunscreen. As the name suggests, it feels like water on the skin, a very, very light moisturizer without drying down and leaving you feeling parched. So I would use this in summer. I use this everywhere, all over my face, teamed up with a moisturizer because this wouldn't lay on top feeling heavy and greasy. There's no white cast, it's not sticky. I've seen a lot of people review this and say it's very, very good as a primer. I don't have any experience with that, but again, it's got that Centella Asiatica in, so nicely soothing and healing. They also have hyaluronic acid in here, so you get the hydration. It is 100% chemical filters as well, and I kind of picked this one because I've seen a resurgence of its popularity on skincare TikTok, so I'm glad it's getting some the recognition it deserves. I really, really like this one. So that's that sponsor side over. The products I'm going to talk about, I think you could get them in Style Korean. Maybe not one, but these next products aren't sponsored, but I will still link to Style Korean just so it's all in one place for you. Do you remember Belif? Belif, this is the True Cream Aqua Bomb. Now, I went through a stage of really, really loving this because I went through a stage of not liking hyaluronic acid. I felt like I was overusing hyaluronic acid. My skin looked angry, it looked red. And whilst there's no real evidence really that hyaluronic acid can aggravate your skin like that, I stopped using hyaluronic acid and my skin calmed down. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what happened. Maybe it was the kind of products I was using, but I went through a Belif kind of obsession when I wanted a moisturizer without hyaluronic acid in. So I love the True Cream Aqua Bomb because it is so deeply hydrating without being heavy. Again, a true morning, evening time moisturizer that you can kind of use as a night mask if you want to as well, but it's not too heavy during the day. Maybe those with oily skin will struggle during the warmer months, but in winter, this is going to be perfect for me. This does have one of the longer ingredient lists I think I've ever seen in my life when it comes to a moisturizer, which isn't a good thing or a bad thing, but it has got a whole range of really interesting ingredients in. We've got oat kernel extract, which is great for soothing the skin, and you kind of feel that this has like a coolness to it once you apply it that kind of calms the skin. We have glycerin, squalane, cholesterol, and ceramides as well, so great for your skin barrier, helping it repair. And panthenol as well, which is very, very moisturizing. I always just mention my favorite ingredients, by the way, and the ones I'm familiar with that I feel have done something for my skin, but there's a whole list. Belif as a brand, I don't remember being so expensive, and I always go to buy them, and I feel like this is why I forgot about them, because I would always go to buy one of their products again and be like, that's maybe like £10 more than I would want to pay for a moisturizer or toner or serum, sometimes even 20 quid more than I would pay for something like this, but they are really good. They are really good, and it makes me be like, maybe it's worth the money. I don't know. I remember loving their toner. So yeah, Belif is kind of like back on my radar again. This is one of my favorite products of all time that I stopped using for about 3 years because I had used it right from the beginning of my skincare reviewing journey for so many years, and people were getting bored of it. People were like, you always talk about the Neogen. I was like, you know what, you're right. I always talk about it. But this is after kind of like discovering SK-II. On my first trip to Japan, I became obsessed with it, but I was like, it's so expensive. It was like £100, right? For their essence. Then I discovered the Neogen Real Ferment Micro Essence with 93% micro bioferment complex. I was like, this is my favorite one. This is the best one. And that's really because it has that 93% of fermented ingredients, which is what makes SK-II SK-II, makes essences. And essence is really that focus on fermented ingredients. We always say nowadays that serums, essence, toners kind of like are all merging into one thing. And they kind of are, but initially Essence is really focused on fermented ingredients and brightening your skin tone and evening the skin tone. And that's what it did. So whilst the fermented ingredients, the Saccharomyces ferment filtrate, I haven't said that for such a long time, kind of focuses on, they say it's for like the brightening of the skin. It's got anti-aging qualities. It's also soothing. It's moisturizing. It's rich in amino acids. But this is also the product that really got me into niacinamide. When my skin was very oily, I would use this alongside the ordinary zinc, niacinamide and zinc, and it just controlled my sebum production from going out of control like it used to all the time. I use this daily, twice a day for years and years, and I really do think it's what kind of balance my oils and why I still use niacinamide to this day. And then we have glycerin, hyaluronic acid, all those good things, but I've started using this again. I've been using it for 2 weeks actually, and a small bottle goes a long way. I swear they used to be just a little bit bigger, and there wasn't a sticker, it was all printed on the front, but it still feels nice. It's glass, which I don't trust myself with. But yeah, I'm glad I've started using this again. And finally, we have the Dear Klairs Supple Preparation Unscented Toner. I remember when they launched this because the scented toner did so well, but it was kind of like peak anti-fragrance time. So people really, really wanted a fragrance-free version of their toner. The smell is very, it brings back a lot of memories because I used to use it all the time, but it also kind of smells like hospital. I always said that it's got a very pharmaceutical smell to it. And again, like, this is really a traditional essence. This is really a traditional toner. It's there to rehydrate your skin. That's it, really. And it's got some other nice ingredients in, like centella to help soothe the skin. We also have copper tripeptides in here, which I didn't know about, which I feel like everyone is kind of like taking interest in now as kind of like a skin healing, anti-aging ingredient. Licorice root extract, which can help even the skin tone, add some brightness to it, revive the look of it. And sodium hyaluronate as well to help hydrate. It really is a really nice, simple, hydrating toner that if your skin's ever feeling tight and dehydrated, it's just good to splash on your skin. I really, really enjoy this one. Like, going back to the basics feels really, really good. It's making me want to get back into reviewing more K-beauty. I want to do a K-beauty haul and kind of go back and look at everything I've got. So yeah, that is all the products for today. As I mentioned, all the product links will be in the description box down below. Let me know if you still use some of these, or you've been following me along the years and you kind of forgot about these as well. Thank you so much to Style Korean for sponsoring today's video. You can find all the product links in the description box down below. Why not watch some more product reviews here and some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.